welcome back. This is the Ocean Flow Talk Show. I am Ocean, and here we go as we flow and flow as we go. Episode 13 is going to be called Let Love In. Episode 12, I gave you all the title Love Is What Love Does. I did a lot of rambling on that episode, but towards the end, we talked about judgment, and we're going to continue that series on today, and I'm going to give you a whole bunch of goodies about how I feel right now in this moment. So I wanted to start off with a few scriptures. From Luke 11, Luke 14, and Luke 17. So Luke 11, mercy with people who have been taught from the old ways of thinking and old generations, and especially pastors who are leading a church according to their fathers and grandfathers, and they felt like it was right for them to also hold a position or a pastoral position in a church because that is what they did. So Sunday, Matthew 6, 1 through 4 was preached, and it talks about how not allowing your right, it says, let me tell you exactly. We're going to start with that first, then I'll come back to Luke, because that's the main point of today. And then I'm going to lead with some backup. Matthew 6. So it says, be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets, to be honored by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So the sermon was flipped all which ways in regards to this scripture. So the main point is Matthew 6, 1. Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them, is what was preached in the church. And what was the message that was given was basically, his thing was, just as those who have he doesn't agree with pastors who have big social media platforms, because he feels that they're doing it to be seen. But last sermon, we talked about loving your neighbor as yourself. So if you are shedding light on things that you don't like that your other brothers and sisters do, you are passing judgment, and you are not loving yourself or loving your neighbor as yourself. Okay. I didn't agree with the sermon this past Sunday, and I felt really uneasy about it. But I'm not here to judge, because everybody has a right to their own perspectives. I talked about that last episode. You have a right to your opinion, but to be loved, to go back to love, because this is the whole point of a spiritual awakening. This is the whole point of a spiritual being. This is the whole point of us. 1 Corinthians 13, 13. I have it in every bio on my social media. And I talked about this last episode. And so we'll start at 12. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three, we'll just start at 1 Corinthians 13, 8. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. It does not dishonor others. It is not self seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps records of no wrongs. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Gonna leave that there. we just gonna leave that there. We just gonna leave that there. There's been a lot going on in the church lately that has been. When I first set foot on church ground Sunday, I will not. Y'all know I don't lie to y'all. I am truth. I am light. I am joy. I am peace. This is the values and the morals that I stand on. When I stepped on church ground Sunday, the first thing I said when I got out of my car, ooh, the energy feels off today. So we are in Luke 11, 12:8. Okay, so then there was this thing where, okay, so there's this controversy about women speaking about God. I learned that they don't like women speaking about God. My dad even agrees that a woman shouldn't speak about God. Now, I give them every right to believe in what they believe, but here I am coming with my factuals of what I believe and that I feel like we have been put. So, I told y'all when I went to Las Vegas and I was talking to the guy who ended up not being a good guy, but he still spread some good word to me that we have all been forced to believe something and we just believed it. You've never been given the right to believe anything else because all of this information since you were a child has just been given to you by adults, by teachers, by everything. You've been just given information and unknowingly or knowingly, you just believed it. So when you go through a spiritual awakening, you begin to take on your own belief systems. You begin to question the whole world around you, and you begin to get rid of old ways of thinking and old habits so that you can come back to love. Okay? So Luke 12:8, I tell you, whoever publicly acknowledges me before others, the Son of Man, Jesus, will also acknowledge before the angels of God. But whoever disowns me before others will be disowned before the angels of God. This don't say, I tell you, whoever publicly acknowledges me before others, the Son of Man, it don't say men. Men, I tell you. Whoever publicly acknowledges me before others, the Son, where it say that at? Where it say that at? I just want to know who said, and then I feel like, so their ways behind it was going back to Adam and Eve, going back to when we talked about Samson and Delilah, how a man is supposed to lead. Why can't a woman lead by a man who also leads? Because now I feel like you are intimidated by a woman who leads. But if that's the case, you are not a man. Adam couldn't even lead. Adam was told to watch the garden and Adam fell asleep. So God gave him woman. He needed somebody else, obviously. He needed a woman because he couldn't lead on his own. He couldn't do it on his own. And then for it to be said that a woman shouldn't speak about God, a woman create bursts. A woman bursts God creation. Make it make sense to me. Like I it really has blown my mind. Like I know what I was called to do. I am giving God all the glory at the same time, but I am a leader. It is in me. It is not on me. You are a leader. Whatever you feel the need to do, don't allow the fear of others or the opinions of others to sway your thinking or to sway your belief about yourself. Your heart knows what it knows. Your spirit told you what it told you. And for anybody to dishonor anybody speaking publicly about God, then Luke 12:8 should have never said, I tell you, whoever publicly acknowledges me before others, whoever publicly acknowledges me before others. Now, because the same person who doesn't honor or doesn't believe in someone having a platform to reach the masses, because social media is in the new times, nobody is like Jesus walking around city to city spreading the word of God. The only way to get to the masses is whatever platform you choose to speak on. But you also post your sermons on Facebook. So what if one of your sermons was to go viral and you get an opportunity to be a part of that crowd? A better opportunity to make your family better, to have more. Are you going to deny it? And then if you do, if that is your choice and you deny it, are you going to resent that in the future? Are you going to regret it? I'm just saying, like, to love is to not judge. To love is to see a piece of yourself in every single person around you and have compassion and kindness for them. And that we have, our pain has turned us into monsters. Our trauma has turned us into monsters. And the only way to heal that pain is to face the monster. But who wants to face the same monster that they are? Like, who wants to really, do you know how hard work that, do you know how, what I've been going through during this healing journey? Do you know how hard it is to face your own demons? To do your own shadow work, to figure out where you are wrong in your own body, your own mind, your own soul. Then the fact is, we are disciples. Jesus had 72 disciples in Luke. Mary Magdalene was a disciple. So where do you still feel like women can't spread the word of God? Wrong once again. Just let whatever choice you make be the choice you make. That's it. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel guilty or ashamed about it. Ask God for forgiveness again. Repent in that moment before you do it. Every day in my prayer, I say, God, forgive me for the sins that I have committed and the ones I have yet to commit. And even after I commit the sins, I still repent for them. I am no better than anybody watching this video. You are no better than me. Nobody thinks like, God said that he will grant you the desires of your heart. That's what God said. It's in the Bible that he will give you the desires of your heart. So if you desire a wealth-filled life, if you desire a health-filled life, if you desire a life where you can take care of your family and your family no longer suffer, God said he'll give you those desires. What he said also in Luke was, if you become wealthy, the greatest thing that a wealthy person can do is to give to the poor and to give to God. Don't become greedy. That's all he said. He didn't say that you can't desire to be wealthy. He just said in order for you to make it to heaven, you have to give your wealth away. My heart that we are closed-minded sometimes, and we're closed off to just being receptive to other people's opinions or ideas. And even sometimes, I have begun praying and asking God to remove judgment from me, because we all judge. So that's why I'm not saying I'm no better than anyone else. But what I'm saying is, in order for us to go back to love, we cannot judge. We must see our brothers and sisters as we see ourselves. We must love our neighbor as ourselves. Love prevails. Love replaces hate. I'm just very, I guess I would say, like, I don't want to, there's no point in speaking on another person's life and how they chose to live it and the things God has blessed them with. Because you're speaking on something and you don't even know if that was a blessing from God or if it wasn't. You don't even know them personally. We be looking at stuff not knowing if the devil blessed them or if God blessed them. The devil blesses too. So you shouldn't even be envying or looking at anyone in any type of manner not knowing. You don't even know what you're envying. And a lot of times you couldn't walk a mile in that person's shoes even if you had the opportunity. It was another thing that my dad is always saying, which kind of like rubs me so wrong. But he's like, what have you been through? Like, what have you been through? As if like he keeps saying that I haven't been through anything. So then I finally got a little more clarification on it. He was like, no, in the Bible it says there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, that's cool. But do you know how many people, come on, in reality, what percentage of people actually really read the Bible? A lot of people say the Bible is boring. Before I even got to this stage of my life, I couldn't even get into the Bible until now. So I know them people. I've been in them people's position to know that ain't nobody read that. And a lot of people, because I've been and I've spoke to a lot of people, to know that a lot of people go through things and truly feel like they are the only ones that go through it. Truly feel that way. So my passion, my goal, my desire is to spread light, shed the light on the things that I have been through, my own testimonies, to show you and to tell you who got me through and what I got through. God got me through, and I got through a lot. I have been through a lot. I'm not dumbing nothing that I have been through down. We all go through stuff, and I get that. But we all actually go through similar situations. We go through similar things. So I've been in my head because I feel like this was a test. I feel like I was being tested to see whether or not, in my therapist, we talked today, and like to be tested whether or not I'm going to quit, whether or not I'm going to let that change me, whether I'm going to let that stop me in becoming who I had the desire to become. Before even today, I have been manifesting to be a motivational speaker for 3.5 years before I even became a lash artist. But God has been preparing me. You have a ministry in whatever you do. If you know God, if you know Jesus, if you know who he is to you, if you have love for him, if you trust in him, if you have faith in him, you have a ministry in whatever you do, whether that's lashes in the beauty industry, whether that's construction, whether that's a doctor, whether that's an engineer, whether that's a nurse. Love is sacrifice. You are willing to sacrifice yourself for someone else. And that's what Samson and Delilah was about as well. I'm just, I was very much like the least bit is like my family is supportive. But it's like, even then, he's been preparing me for that. Because even before this time, I haven't had any support from them. They always say it's different for somebody to say, I'm here for you, versus them being there for you. Them two they ain't the same. We just talked about last episode, love is action. What are they doing in the foreground and the background? You can say that you're here for me all day, but if you don't call me, you always expect me to call you. How are you here for me? Even if I don't reach out to ask you for money, a simple like, you good? You need anything? You doing all right? That's being there for somebody. That's supporting somebody. That isn't, or downing them, or telling them that they will never be nothing, and that they were this person that they never were. And you made them out to be something they weren't. And then now, fast forward, the life that I have created, oh, now you're proud. Oh, now it's always, oh, the love's been there. I'm not taking that away from anybody, but let's be real here. Let's be real. I've been thugging by myself for years. I ain't got nothing wrong against it, because just as I can reach out, I try to stay involved with them as much as possible. But as we all know, family can be toxic. And I love my family dearly. But I also, during this time, have learned to set boundaries, and I don't have to deal with nothing I don't want to deal with. Anything that tries to steal my peace, I don't have to deal with it. I'm not obligated. This whole life is about choosing what makes you happy and being a good person, and going back to love. Being a good person, loving everything and everyone, including animals and nature, being compassionate, just being good. Like, even he wanted to bring my dad wanted to bring up my ex, and like about what type of person he was, but I saw him firsthand, and he has pain, a lot of pain that he has not learned how to deal with. He has not faced. He has constantly been running from. He has constantly been in survival mode, as all of us have been. No, what he needs is love. He don't need somebody talking about him. What is that going to do? Even here it says, oh, so then going back to me being light. So there's a thing on my vision board where I say, I have been created to be the light. Something like that. So in Luke 11:33, the lamp of the body. No one lights a lamp and puts it in a place where it would be hidden or under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand so that those who come in may see the light. Your eye is the lamp of your body. When your eyes are healthy, basically when your eyes are generous, your whole body also is full of light. But when they are not generous, your body also is full of darkness. See to it then that the light within you is not darkness. Therefore, if your whole body is full of light and no part of it dark, it will be just as full of light as when a lamp shines its light on you. Luke 11:40. We're going to start at Luke 11:45. So this is when Jesus was talking to the Pharisees, because they asked him, this is when the Pharisee invited him to eat with him, okay? So Luke 11:45. One of the experts in the law answered him, Teacher, when you say these things, you insult us also. So Jesus insulted them. Jesus replied, And you experts in the law, the religious law, Woe to you, because you load people down with burdens they can hardly carry. All right. Burden. Burden is a duty or misfortune that causes hardship, anxiety, or grief, a nuisance. The main responsibility for achieving a specified aim or task. So it's basically here a duty or misfortune. So basically, you cause someone hardship or distress. So let's read it like this. And you experts, you religious experts in the law, woe to you, because you load people down with distress and hardship, and you yourselves will not lift a finger to help them. Woe to you, because you build tombs for the prophets, and it was your ancestors who killed them. So you testify that you approve of what your ancestors did. They killed the prophets, and you built their tombs. Because of this, God, in his wisdom, said, I will send them prophets and apostles, some of whom they will kill, and others they will persecute. Therefore, this generation will be held responsible for the blood of all the prophets that has been shed since the beginning of the world, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who was killed between the altar and the sanctuary. Yes, I tell you, this generation will be held responsible for it all. Woe to you, experts in the law, because you have taken away the key to knowledge. You yourselves have not entered, and you have hindered those who were entering. Jesus said you killed the very ones who was coming to speak about God. But you yourself say that you are an expert in religious law. How so? How so when you killed the very thing that was coming, that was the prophet, that God sent? They ain't like that. They ain't like that. But that's how I felt at that in that very moment, that y'all don't. I see now that churches these days don't make it comfortable for people to want to come to the church, because you simply speak down on them. You tell people what they can and can't be, who they are and who they aren't. What place do you have? You must be God the judge. Let me know, because I ain't know we had multiple gods. I thought there was one, the God of gods, the Almighty One, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. In the beginning, there was God. Nothing before or after him shall come. Woo! So I'm just saying, like, don't. And I get that we interpret things and we see things in our own ways and in our own perspectives. Don't get me wrong. That is cool. So then there was so I have been doing, there's a book summary that I read the other day on the Headway app that I told y'all about. And it was called The Judgment Detox. So I'm going to start going to that book summary and doing the detox suggestions that it says. It's called EFT, some type of EFT practice. It's like a body practice, where you repeat certain statements to yourself as you tap on certain body parts, in order to rid yourself of judging others. They say that in the book summary, it says that it's supposed to work after 9 days. It should, I think, 7 or 9 days that it will work, and you should be free of judgment. Or they have saw great improvement in that amount of time. So I'm gonna put forth to it, because I want to see to it that I don't. And if it does work for me, I'm gonna try my best to stay consistent. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Then I will let y'all know, and I will pass it on, so that if you choose to do that, that you could also do that as well. Okay. So I'm just grateful. I'm really grateful that I can hear God and that God speaks to me and that I'm a child of God and that I am light. We are all light, but you can't cover your light up. And you can't allow somebody else to throw your shade on. You can't allow somebody else to throw the shade on your light. That ain't for them to do. And you know what? If I'm wrong in anything that I'm doing, or God doesn't see forth with what I am doing and what I have started investing my time in, then God take it away from me. Allow me to fall. Because I don't ever want to sway or persuade anyone in the wrong way. But I am going against the norm. I am going against what we all believe. I get it. But in the beginning, I said that I was different. In the beginning, I said that I know that my time here, my purpose here was for something bigger and for something different. As a child, I knew I have always been different. But I have just recently gotten the clarity. I am 24 years old. So 24 years I have been living on this earth not being able to hear or see. And now I have been found. I am grateful. And I know that it's God that speaks to me because that's the only person I talk to. Who? Baby, I be shouting at the devil, get out of my house. Fear and anxiety cannot live here. Devil, you do not belong here. You will not dwell in any house of mine. But even in Luke, it says when you become a disciple of Jesus and when God gives you the ears to hear and the eyes to see and the mouth to speak, even evil spirits work with you. But Jesus said, don't boast about it. You ain't got to tell nobody that. I'm very disappointed. Honestly, I think I'm more disappointed than anything. I'm not trying to force. I know in the beginning, I also said that I know that God also told me a lot of people wouldn't agree with me and a lot of people would. And that I am not here to please everybody. And that's okay. But it's like, come on. You can't see that. You can't see it for yourself. I really do be wanting to take the rose colored glasses off and to give them the clear ones. Because you ain't seeing clearly, baby. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Literally. And all these songs start to just make sense. Because also when you start going through a spiritual awakening, so I finally Googled and researched what it is. Okay. After talking about it for in the first couple episodes, I believe I'm pretty sure I did. That a spiritual awakening comes when basically your spirit is fed up with you. Your spirit is like, look, dude, you going through too much. This was too traumatic. So it can happen like when you have a bad car accident, when you go through a bad breakup or a divorce, or when the pain is just unbearable. It's like, and the only thing that they said is like they can't, out of all the documentation that I read last night, it's like we can't really explain it. And it's just a feeling that you get. Like it's just a feeling. Your intuition is heightened. You become more compassionate. You start questioning everything around you. It even said like you stop eating meat. And that was something I did. I still eat seafood. And those type of things, but I have felt the best that I have ever felt ever in my life. Like ever. Like, it is the greatest feeling in the world, honestly. So a spiritual awakening is supposed to, you're going back to self. You're becoming one with higher source, higher power, God. You're becoming one together. I'm gonna do what I've been called to do. I I can't not. Like, at this point, my spirit is itching. Oh, that's another thing. When you go through a spiritual awakening, all you want to do is your purpose, and you want to find it out even more than ever. And that's all you feel called to do. And that's where I'm at. I'm letting go of everything and just finna move myself away, not even knowing what I'm going to. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even know. Like, I'm just going. And if I fail, okay, I get back up. I know who God is. I failed many times. He extended his hand and I grabbed it. There we go. Here we back on track. And nobody agrees with me right now. Nobody agrees with the move I'm making. And okay, I'm not here to please you. You have the right to feel how you feel, but I don't have to feel a way about how you feel. You feel that way because something within you is offended by the way, about anything that I say. That's okay. Agree to disagree. And let's move on. That's all you can do. Really. And that's where I'm at. And you gotta let love in. You gotta, you can't be out here saying or acting as you are holier than thou and judging your brothers and sisters because just wherever they are in life, you could have been there or you can be there or God can put you there. I told y'all God can do things for you and he can do things to you. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. God, I just pray that I remain humble. I remain on the path that you have for me. I pray that whatever is in your will, that it shall be done. I pray the same for whoever's watching this, that you allow God to lead your life, no matter where he may be taking you, that you trust him and that you have faith in him enough to know that he is not going to lead you in the sewer. He's not going to lead you where he's not already prepared you to go. He said he would never leave you nor forsake you. He ain't left me this far. So I'm doing it. Like I say, I don't know, but I know it's going to be good. I wanted to end this message with this song. I don't want copyrights to this song. I'm just going to play a little bit of it. My yoga instructor gave it to me, and this is how I feel. So here we go. It's Blanca Shattered. I'm Blanca's new album, and it's called Real Love. I got a fire inside and some words I know I can't keep in. I see faith turning into a show of Sundays and sermons and words getting caught in the flow. Oh, but we got real pain and real fears, thirsting for the trying. Oh, but real tears, it's not satisfying anymore. Ain't it true that the veil was torn? I don't need no saviors to be washed in his blood. I don't need no perfect and together pretty words to be enough. No, I want Jesus and his real love. You can leave your religion at home. You can leave it at the door. You can leave it at the door. Jesus is more than that. Stop putting him to this law and this book. He's bigger than that. Come on. Jesus even sacrificed himself for the love of the world, to tell everybody who God was. That's another thing. It was said, so everything that's in the public eye ends up being destroyed. It said about Jesus, right? Because Jesus became in the public eye, that's why he was destroyed. Come on. Come on. That was already a part of the plan. John the Baptist been spreading the word of Jesus before Jesus even came. That was a part of the plan. Jesus had to be in the public eye to even heal and do the miracles that he did, to give God the glory. God can't get the glory hiding in the shadows. Who gonna know about him? Who gonna hear about him? If you're hiding God in the shadows, how he gonna get the glory? No. Talk about him out loud. Talk about him out loud. Talk about him in front of the people who don't want to hear you talk about him. Those are the ones gonna run. Those are the ones gonna start hiding in the shadows. Don't hide God in those shadows. Yeah, you go public with him. Come on. That ain't why Jesus got destroyed. Because now you contradicting. You being hypocritical. How that ain't why Jesus got destroyed. Jesus died to sacrifice for us. Ain't that why we really here? For the forgiveness of our sins? Ain't have nothing to do with him being in the public eyes as to why he got destroyed. Let's be real. Come on. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love you. If you ain't heard that in a few days, months, years, I love you, girl, boy, man, woman, sister, brother. And you deserve to be loved. You deserve good things. Don't let nobody take that from you. Don't let nobody change you. Be you. If they can't accept you for who you are, they don't need to be with you. Find somebody else. God got somebody better. God got something better. I pray that whenever you see this, you have a great day, a blessed day, night, morning. Be love. Choose love. Choose peace. And be you, baby. I love you. Have a great day.